What's going on, champs and champets? Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. In today's YouTube video, we're going to be talking about a new feature that was added to the augment system with the v23.10 update that we got earlier this week, and how there is something that I kind of have a problem with it. Now, for those who don't know, with the augment system, you don't get all of them unlocked by default, and in fact, if we look at the augment tab here, you can see that you have to, over time, discover these different augments, right? You have to actually play the game enough and activate enough augments to the point where you've discovered all of them, but there are some people who still, to this day, you know, as they've played Fortnite and everything, don't have every single one of those augments unlocked and available to them. Well, with the brand new update, Epic Games actually made it so if you're playing with a party, right, if you're playing with friends and stuff who have augments that you don't have, you'll be able to borrow that augment from them, basically meaning that you'll see it in your menu more often, and it'll be like a thing where it's like, hey, guess what, your friend has this augment, and since you're playing with your friend, congratulations, you can actually use this augment as well. However, there's a little bit of an interesting problem, which may just be me being a little bit misinformed on how the augment system works, that makes me not really like this whole entire borrowing system. And it's the whole entire fact about unlocking these augments and how you're supposed to actually go about obtaining them so you can use them even when you're not playing with those specific friends who already have those augments unlocked. And the main issue here comes from the fact that if you borrow an augment from one of your friends, right? So let's say one of your teammates has an augment and you borrow that augment from them, sure, you've used the augment, right? Technically, you've discovered the augment because you're able to use it during that match, so it's like your character obviously knows that it exists, but for some reason Epic Games does not count that as you actually discovering this augment, and they make it so that even though you've equipped it and everything through the borrow system, it doesn't actually unlock it in your collection book, right? It doesn't actually make it so that if you're playing alone, you can use that same one. And as far as I'm aware, now this is the part where I may be incorrect, so keep this one as, like, you know, with a grain of salt. As far as I'm aware, if someone has an augment you don't have, you'll never see the option of it being like, hey, this is a new augment for you to use, and instead, it could just be because of how common, you know, borrowing augments are in this game. It will just show you that person's borrowed version, meaning that the only way for you to actually obtain that for your own personal use would be to play on your own, right? It would be to play completely solo, or, you know, in a private lobby, bot lobbies, whatever you want to call them, and you would have to play long enough by yourself that you'd be able to earn that augment normally. Now, of course, I'm uncertain about that. It just seems, based on my experience playing with, like, Tater and everything, that he has been unable to actually unlock those augments that I have that he doesn't have, even though he always sees, you know, the option to borrow them from time to time. It's just something that will probably need more evidence and, you know, testing done to figure out fully, but I still think that, you know, even if that was the case, right, even if they made it so that you could use an augment or whatever, you could find the normal ones, and they would track to your discovery by, you know, playing with other people, even if that person had it, I think they should make it so even if you're borrowing an augment, it still counts and unlocks it for you, right? Sure, it makes the augment system a lot easier to kind of progress through, because if you're borrowing it, it's a lot more common to find those specific augments, but it would just incentivize people to actually play with teammates, right? It would incentivize them to go out and play with big groups of their friends who have been playing the new season and everything, because it helps them get those new augments faster, and in return, you know, they're able to just to use them without having to worry about, okay, reset, spin bars, just to find that one augment that they haven't gotten yet. Because I have some friends, right, who have been playing this game since the new season came out, and they have still yet to get some augments, and they will keep resetting, right? They will keep spinning their bars non-stop until they get the augment that they need. And it's just something that is kind of like, I feel that they'll be tinkering with it over time as they improve the system, but I wish the system was kind of, you know, working in a different way right now, at least when you were playing with a group of friends. But of course, I would love to hear what you guys think about the whole entire augment system in the comments down below. So let me know, how do you feel about how the augment system is currently in place? How do you hope they improve it in the future? And just what do you think about the whole borrowing system, right? Because with the borrowing system, that's really my main complaint for augments right now, is that it just feels like borrowing isn't that good of a feature. Because sure, it means you can use an unreleased augment that you don't already have that your friends have during matches, but at the exact same time, it does not mean anything else, right? It's not going to help you progress anything in the game. It's not going to do anything like that, despite the fact that Epic Games seems to be the type of company that always wants to signify people to play with friends. They always want to make their people who play their game play in groups with other friends and, you know, random strangers or whatever, because of the fact that they always do events like Reboot a Friend, you know, the Reboot Rally, stuff like that. They always want people to play together, but this is one of the few times where the system seems to actually hinder the experience for those who are playing together. Now, this could just be, you know, from a player psychology standpoint, maybe everything's working perfectly perfectly fine, right? Maybe you're still able to unlock new augments and they're going to be the same, you know, like chance of appearing in your menu or whatever, depending on if you were playing by yourself or playing with a group of people. Maybe it's exactly the same, but from the psychology standpoint of how it feels, it does not feel like it's fair, right? It does not feel like a fair system, and it seems like it makes it like at least feel like it's incentivizing or, you know, decentivizing people to actually play with their friends, and instead being like, oh, you don't have all the augments unlocked? Sure, you can play with your friends, but if you actually want to unlock these for your own personal use in the future, make sure to play by yourself, right? That's just how it makes me feel with the whole situation. So hopefully they, you know, improve it over time and tinker with it so it doesn't end up feeling like that forever. But with that said, that's just kind of my ramble for today's YouTube video. Hope you champs and champions enjoyed it. If you did, consider subscribing to support the content I create, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with a new video. Peace out.